What's up, Rapport family? It's your boy C-Dub, and you are watching the Midweek Rapport, courtesy of AuburnSports.com. Tonight, we will be discussing Auburn basketball's tough loss against Baylor, while also previewing Auburn football's matchup against Arkansas. We'll preview a few other matchups in the SEC and give our predictions as well. You definitely don't want to miss it. Let's get to it. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to the latest Midweek Rapport. Guys, do the necessary and share this content with those who are Auburn fans, even if they're even Arkansas fans. They may want to hear what we got to say. Please be sure to share it in the group chat, social media, wherever. Smash the like button while you're here. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. As always, Ike is doing the necessary work of film review, previous games, but also previewing an upcoming opponent. You definitely want to catch that. If you got a green name, you may ask how you get a green name. I can tell you how you do that.
Very simple. All you have to do is click that join button. When you do that, it'll ask you which level you would like to participate in membership. And for the cost of like a very inexpensive fast food meal once a month, you could support the War Report and get some great content right here with your guy Ike Jones breaking down film. We're going to start getting into some basketball film too. I don't know how I'm going to find the time to do all this stuff, but we're going to figure it out and we're going to get y'all this content. Y'all going to get this film. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be a part of Green Name Gang to make that happen. If you want to be like Auburn Dad and gift a membership, thank you so much for already making that happen for us today. You can gift a membership. Somebody can get 1 month free on you if you're already part of Green Name Gang. We're going to give away another mug today. Hashtag get your weight up right now in that live chat. We'll be doing that giveaway around the 1 hour mark. You got to be here. I see how some of y'all be playing though. I'm going to start doing the drawing at different times. Y'all are coming here, drop your get your weight up, and then you want to come back around the hour mark and see if you won. We're going to flip it up on y'all one of these days. I'm giving you a warning before I do it. We're going to do it at like the 45-minute mark or something like that, and we're going to mess with you a little bit. Don't play with me out here in these streets. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, man, but that's it, man. We just get into this content, man.
Ike already dropping threats.
Yeah, you gotta let it be known. I ain't nothing to play with.
That's right, pimp. It's threats.
It's this threats, pimp.
Serious about mine.
Auburn Dad for Life, we appreciate you gifting 5 War Report memberships, man. We greatly appreciate it. Let's talk basketball real quick. We got a lot to discuss. Corey Weber, I saw your comments. Good to have you here with us. I know you follow Auburn basketball pretty heavy. He says, can't lie, the loss last night hurt my feelings. I started celebrating too early in my head. Yeah. I never,
Nah, I wouldn't. The top 20 team, I'm not celebrating until it's zeros, baby.
Ike, maybe it's you tell me. B, you chime in as well. It seemed like the second half lasted 2 days.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because of the fouls. We were just sending them to the line or whatnot, just slowing the game down.
Were we? Okay.
Just saying.
They went to the line. The question was,
they went to the line. It just seemed like that second half lasted for an eternity. So I never could get comfortable. Granted, the fact that, they cut our lead down, from 9 to like 6, that 4 to 6 area. I never could feel comfortable about where we were and if we were going to close.
Man, we gave up 6 points out the gate, man. They came in, they hit a 3, then they got an and 1. I was like, bro, what are we doing, man? We ain't even a full minute into the half, and we already out here giving up the draws. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I was not in celebration mode one bit. I was like, nah, bro, I need to see two. Because we just went through this in attorney where we had Houston on the ropes, and I was like, nah, let me see the second half, bro. I need to wait.
Gotta see if we gotta see if things are different, in terms of how we're closing these games out. One thing's for sure, man. I will definitely say we are a much improved offensive team for sure.
Yeah, we got some shooters this year.
I was happy to see that. So it's just some instant reactions, guys, as we kind of get into some of the stat lines and kind of discuss what we saw in the game. You kind of covered, you did a recap after the game, post game. B Will, Mike G's joining us. B, what were your thoughts in terms of what you saw with Auburn basketball? Tough loss, but we looked impressive for much of the game. So your thoughts, man.
I thought we looked good. I expected Janai Broome to come in playing well. I thought he played well. I expected KD to play well in his box, and he played well, continued his motivation and how he looked enthused about playing in his role like he did towards the end of last season. Thought Denver was as billed with the shooting. I thought Aiden Holloway, I mean, if you were going to have any that was going to be a question mark, it was going to be true freshman in a weird place, big spotlight, primetime TV. Are you going to show up today against a quality team? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He is as good, as billed, as we thought, as we heard all the praise he got in the preseason. He's good. I thought there were still some chemistry issues. And the reason I say that was the passing, lazy passes, guys expecting the pass to get to them, not going to get it, not taking that extra step, kind of planting their feet before they actually got the ball. Passes just not really getting there. And I don't even think it was Baylor's pressure. I thought it was just us being lazy with the passes. But when you've got a lot of guys who haven't played with each other yet, I think that's kind of somewhat expected. Similar to the way when quarterback and wide receivers are brand new to each other, they can get confused on what they thought the route was going to be. Yes, I get some of that as kind of new pieces in a new place, and that's the result of it. So for that reason, I thought it was a very good effort. I thought it was a winnable game. All right. Well, a lot of games last year, I don't really think we had much of a shot unless we played perfect. We didn't have to play perfect to win that game. Was our free throw shooting, did it leave something to be desired? Yes. But the disparity in the calls in the second half was egregious. I thought it was egregious. They took us out of being able to defend aggressively like we do. Them getting the extra calls was essentially the difference in the entire game. Okay, the free throw, the field goal percentage was pretty much identical. The 3-point percentage was pretty much identical. The turnovers are pretty much identical. It was the fouls. That's it. The fouls that were called on us for really just defending was the difference in the game. So for that reason, am I a little miffed that we lost? Yes, but this is not going to count towards our one win against Baylor wasn't going to have us making the tournament, and one loss against Baylor isn't going to keep us out of the tournament. Based on how good we looked last night, I'm extrapolating that forward, and I see, we're going to make this run. We're going to be top 3 SEC for sure. So much length, and I still think a couple players have a chance to get into it as they get set and comfortable. I thought Chaney looked a little deer in headlights, probably in the right word. He looked like, okay, this is a lot early. He didn't look like the aggressive player that I thought he was going to be early, but I think all of these guys have time to gel, and I'm expecting a good season from Bruce and the boys this year.
Mike G, talk to me, man. What was your thoughts about Auburn basketball last night in terms of what you saw?
Yeah, he said a lot, but not enough about Aiden Holloway. Holy crap, that kid can shoot. Wow. I was blown away. And for a team that has lacked shooting over the last couple of years, I mean, I was so impressed. He looked like he damn near looked like a seasoned veteran out there. I mean, he had I think 1 or 2 turnovers on the night. But for the most part, the range on his 3-point shot was impressive. He looked confident shooting it. And as the game went on, you could see Bruce Pearl kind of keeping Trey on the bench and keeping Aiden in there.
Kind of had to, though.
That's foul trouble that made that.
Yeah, kind of had to keep him on the bench.
But what an option to have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, boy, he provided such a spark for this team. I think he led them in scoring last night.
He did 19 points.
Yes.
Oh man, wow, dude. It reminds me kind of how I felt about Sharif when he got here, but then it opened up hurt. He was hurt, and then once he got in, he looked good, but the beginning of that season kind of derailed the year that he had here. And so to have him and just to have a bona fide star from game one, man. He's going to be a star. The most impressive thing Bruce Pearl will ever do is convincing him to come back for another year. He's good. He's good. So yeah, Auburn didn't win, but I thought that they learned a lot about their team last night, and this team will make the tournament. This team will definitely make the tournament. Now, where they finish in the SEC, we'll see. But I got to believe they're going to be able to build on what we saw last night. Bruce Pearl said after one of the exhibition games that we covered in the postgame that this would be the greatest balance of minutes of any team he's ever coached in his entire career. And he certainly played them like that last night. He went deep to the bench. We saw Lior for a good stretch as well, too. I mean, he got in.
Guys played.
Yeah.
11 guys played.
Right. I think 6 different players had a block last night. It was, shout out. I mean, the freshman for Baylor, man, he had a stupendous game, obviously. But man, for a team that has so many new pieces, to see them, they didn't really look like a new team last night. To me, I thought they played like they've been playing with each other for a little bit, right? It's not the most polished it's ever going to be, but for game one, I kind of expected it to be a little bit sloppier. And Denver Jones can shoot. Having a guy who can confidently step in and hit a big three. I mean, I know they didn't come all the way back, but the three that he hit that pulled them within 3, I mean, it was just a shooter's gonna shoot type moment where he just pulled up and he shot it. I agree with B on Chaney. Right, he looked a little tight. Right, but I expect him to get over that. And then Chad Baker-Mazzaro, I mean, energy. Right, what was the stretch that he had where he he scored and then got a steal and then ran back down the court?
2 steals.
Yeah. It was. I mean, wow, dude. I'm excited. I've never been so excited after a loss. I thought that this team has great potential. And, credit to Bruce Pearl, man. He's taken some heat the last few years for the lack of shooting on this team. And they went out and they addressed it big time. So, yeah. And I also agree with B on the calls in the second half. Yeah, I agree 100% on the calls in the second half. I'm not blaming the refs. I'm just saying it's harder.
They're not gonna find you, Mike. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah, it's just harder when they don't do their jobs correctly, right? So, yeah.
Well, this is something I wanted to kind of ask you, Ike, because one of the things I was reminded of previous conversations we've had last year with Auburn's team. And depending on what kind of mood the refs in, because we already know based on the type of brand of defense Auburn likes to play, in your face, real aggressive type of play, depending on how whistle happy the referees are, is going to determine whether or not we're living in foul trouble with key guys. And so I think a lot of that obviously hurt because you didn't have guys out there, but I think it took a lot of guys out of rhythm offensively, like Trey Donaldson, Baker-Mazzara. Like he was actually contributing in the first half offensively, but if you're in foul trouble, it's difficult to get into a rhythm because you're just trying to stay out there, right? And so what are your thoughts about that in terms of, even though we have a lot of depth, on any given night, we could just be at a disadvantage because we're trying to keep guys from fouling out? Your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's a danger you're always going to have to face when you are a hard-nosed defense that's going to play aggressively. I mean, the biggest issue for me is just securing the rebound at the end to end the possession, right? Like, if we do that better, we ended up even in rebounding in the game. But if we just end good defensive possessions with a rebound more often, we win that basketball game because they played well. But the second chance points that Baylor was able to get, really, I think, were the backbreaker points for them in a lot of situations where you played really good defense, forced a late shot or a contested shot, and you just don't get the board. So overall, good game. Just you got to clean that stuff up. But you risk that when you're going to play defense the way that we play it.
And also, too, to your point about the second half, because I think you did a great job last night talking about the rebounds were even, but I think it was when they got an offensive board, it was a three coming right behind that. Like those are backbreakers. So you can get second chance points, but when you're able to hit a three, it's almost like they always had someone behind the arc ready to shoot whenever they snatched the offensive board. And I think that's what helped them kind of stay in striking distance and ultimately pull ahead of us. Let's grab some of the comments, guys, because we got a lot to cover here. Marion Thomas asked, did you guys expect more from Jay Will? I expected a lot from the 4 position. I know we didn't get it a lot. B Will, as you already kind of mentioned, with Chaney Johnson. Just, I guess he's trying to get his feet up under him, kind of feel things out. But asking more about Jay Will. Your thoughts about Jay Will, guys?
Yeah, I think he has gone back into a space where last year I felt like he felt needed to step up and score, so he had gotten to be more aggressive, and now he's kind of gone back into a more reserved, I'll just kind of try to get it in the flow. And I don't think Jay Will plays at his best when he's that way. He's more tentative, and when he gets into the passive space, he's just not as good a player. And so he just needs to find some aggression, and he'll be okay.
Also, Michael Parker says Jalen's 4 points in 26 minutes, more 4 points in 23 minutes. They need to do more with their minutes as vets. Unacceptable.
More, not so much.
I actually liked Moore. Yesterday.
What Moore provides for you is never going to be offensive firepower. It's going to be energy, and it's going to be defense. And as long as he's doing those things well, which he did well in this game,
he played good minutes.
Then he plays the minutes that you want from him. He is going to be a guy that you put on the floor with other scorers when you don't need a scorer, right? So I'm not mad at him in his minutes. Jalen, on the other hand, he is a guy who is not as good defensively, so he needs to supplement that with being effective on the offensive end. You need to see him get double digits most nights, because he's going to get double digit opportunities. He had the little, turnaround floater hook situation that he hits usually effectively. He had a couple of those that he missed, right? And then he had a 3 that he tried to hit in transition. Those are shots that he's not going to get as many shots this year. So his effective field goal percentage has to be pretty high, between what he's going to shoot from 3 from the field and from free throw. He needs to be very efficient in his game with less shots this year.
And I thought when Baylor caught him on a trap, I was like, this is not going to be pretty.
He was very passive out there. He looked, I don't know if it was just the nerves of the big game, first game jitters, what it was, but he didn't look sure of himself in a couple of situations. And that I will agree with, as a vet, is a little disappointing. It's not like he's a freshman coming. I can understand Chaney Johnson being that way, first time on a very big stage versus a big opponent. Jay Will, man, you've been through these battles, and played big in big games before. You expect him to play a little more settled than he looked last night.
Yeah.
James Barnett says, I think Holloway will take the starting point guard position. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's just too good a scorer to keep off the floor, man. He's so
Bruce
good.
Pearl is pretty adept at doing this starter closer thing. I would expect, because Holloway impressed me last night with how well he played on the defensive end, though. That was my biggest question for him coming in, is how well is he going to play on the defensive end? He didn't get into a lot of situations where they were trying to go big guards on him, even though they had some bigger guards. They didn't try to play bully ball with him. But he moved his feet really effectively out on the perimeter. He communicated well on defense. He didn't get into a lot of bad situations with fouls. I thought he played really well on both ends of the floor. I just think that Trey is, if he stays out of foul trouble, we'll get to have a better gauge as to how well he's going to be in the flow of the offense. You just didn't get a chance to see that in that first game.
If he looks anything like he did in the tournament, last
crazy.
year,
This team is not going to be. It's going to be a tough out if you get tournament Trey with first game Aiden on the court at the same time. Not necessarily on the court at the same time, but in the same game. That's tough.
Right. Yeah. Right. Agreed. Michael Parker says, appreciate you, man. He says you guys really bring it every day. We appreciate you, man, supporting us. Auburn Dad for Life says, love y'all, fellas, and fam. War Eagle to you, Auburn Dad. Again, appreciate you for gifting the super chats. Guys, let's kind of shift and talk about some of the matchups in the SEC for this upcoming weekend. Before we do, let's kind of see where we left off last week. I was out of the pocket life.
Undefeated, baby.
So me and Mike are undefeated. We didn't lose anything.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a rough week for you, B. It was a rough week for you, my guy.
I took some
pick, B?
necessary risks.
He picked Mississippi State for whatever reason.
Mississippi State over Kentucky.
He took LSU for whatever reason.
LSU, Alabama, and Florida over.
We all took Florida. Well, no, actually, I take that back. Dustin was on with us. Dustin did not pick Florida, but he and I both picked Florida. That's the one that I missed on.
Yeah. I don't mind taking some risks. It's okay to take some risks.
You picked LSU. Was that just because you just wanted to see Bama?
No, I thought they had a shot.
Dustin picked LSU too. I was the only one that picked Bama.
Me, Dylan, and Dustin picked
Dylan. LSU defense, man. I just don't trust their defense.
Everybody else picked LSU. I was like, all right.
You know who I trust? I trust Jaden Daniels. That's what
I
got you.
And I told y'all I was gonna have to come back on here and say this. I hinted at it Sunday. What did the refs do?
They
were cheating. Cooking.
They was cheating. You was right. They was cheating.
Home cooking.
They was cheating.
Yeah.
Try to tell y'all, man, you can't beat Bama.
Man, in my Bama circles, oh my God.
You have more than one?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
I don't even know that. What is that?
It's like
what are Bama circles?
And like,
yikes!
But let me tell
you need better friends, Mike.
That's what I got y'all for. It was unbelievable how much they fought that should have been a targeting call, and based on how they've called it, like somebody had posted a targeting that Auburn had. I think it was last year versus Mississippi State or something.
Yeah, it was the one with TD Moultry versus Mississippi
2 years
State.
ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it was kind of like what? And then Penn State a couple of years ago where Zacoby is like hitting the guy going to the ground. He like hits him with his shoulder, but in the other dude's shoulder. But I guess their helmets just came a little too close together, so they called it targeting. And I'm like, if you're throwing guys out of games for that, this dude straight up. He got under the chin and then he drove the quarterback into the ground.
That was the egregious part. You get under the chin, you might make that contact, but you could get him and then let him go on your way back.
Let up and roll off, right?
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, Mike, it was a good form tackle. I was like, not by today's
not on a defensive
standards.
Player, not on a defensive player.
Listen, it met every criteria for targeting. Bama fans can like. Here's the funny thing. I saw a picture going around of last year where Bryce Young got hit helmet to helmet in a game. And they were like, where was the media outrage of Bryce Young getting hit like this? I was like, oh, so you agree it's targeting. You just disagree because it was your guy doing
it. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just like, they were acting like Dallas Turner is getting a bad rep for being a dirty player. And I'm just like,
he is a dirty player.
Listen, here's the thing. His intent is irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Correct.
Whether he intended to hit him high.
That's not the conversation.
Yeah. Nobody
missed the call.
Dirty is about intent. I don't care whether he meant to do it. He did it. Should have been called as a targeting, and he should have been.
Dirty is about intent. I don't know. All I know is that he seems to do it a lot and get away with it a lot. That's all.
Yeah. But I mean, Josh Pate,
do you think Smoke Monday is a dirty player?
No, I think he is. What's the word I'm looking for? He's not thinking. He's actually hyped up to make the hit.
I think Dallas Turner's the same way.
Because all his hits be on quarterbacks. Smokes was just on whoever was in the line of fire.
I'll tell you that.
That's pretty funny. AU conversion.
Josh Pate's whole point was that he thinks Dallas Turner is being punished for being good enough to be in a position to consistently have that call against him.
Man, get out of here.
And I'm like,
I don't know about that one, Josh. We agree a lot, but that one,
he lost me on that one. I hate that because it definitely changed. If there were any shot that LSU was going to pull off something miraculous, it went down with Jay Daniels.
Yeah.
Right. And
Right,
it was
right.
tough to watch because he was having a Heisman type game statistically. Like when he went out, he was just under 400 yards of total offense and 3 touchdowns himself.
2.5 quarters.
He was going bananas, B. And the difference in the game was literally just that LSU's defense could not stop Bama's offense.
Right.
But that combined with the new clock rules made a comeback almost impossible.
I mean, the new clock rules didn't matter what Nussmeier got. It was over.
Yeah, I get it.
Completely.
But my point is that if there were any shot at all, like if you got a turnover, it wasn't going to matter because the clock was just going to keep running until it got to 2 minutes. And so when I was watching that, I was just like, yo, these new clock rules legit in the last 6 minutes burned another 2 minutes off the clock for LSU. And that's part of what made college football was you could see these amazing comebacks because the clock stops on first down. Now we're running out of bounds, and then the clock starts running. What?
Right.
Come on, man. I this is one of the worst changes in college football in a long time. And talk about making the game faster, and then the game is not any shorter. We're just watching more commercials.
It was at one point it was a commercial, and then they came back and ran a play, and something happened, and then they went right back to commercial.
That happened last night during the basketball game.
Yeah, I'm like,
it was
what?
definitely
Come on,
too.
man. You're trying to say this was about sliding in more advertising for dollars. And I'm good with it as long as you just say what it is. But don't try to sell us that you're trying to, make the game better. You make the game worse. And I mean, obviously, as Auburn guys, I'm sitting here just trying to think of every super improbable scenario that LSU could come back in that game. Well, they did this and they got 2 first downs. They onside kicked it and they, you know what I mean? And an angel from heaven came down. Maybe they can do it. Nope. Even God couldn't fix them clock rules. It was awful. It's terrible. No miracles. I was so upset watching that, just thinking there's absolutely zero way we see anything miraculous here. I think that's so sad for college football fans. So maybe it was good that Jay Daniels didn't come back in. I don't know. I think he should still be the front runner for the Heisman. Like, and B is right when he says the results on the field matter in terms of the voting. But man, I just think he's having such a statistically, figuratively, metaphorical, any kind of way you want to look at it, this dude is having a Heisman campaign.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The eye test tells you what you need to know. More
Exactly.
so than just stats.
The stats and the eye test. Yeah, just put them together and boom, Heisman.
All right, guys. Listen, let's go ahead and get to some of these picks. Let's run through these real quick. Mississippi State on the road against A&M.
A&M's gonna win.
A&M's gonna win. So Jimbo lives to fight another day.
Yeah,
Ike?
Mississippi State
This will be
is so
6 wins
bad.
for them. So he'll get the bowl. Okay, he'll get the bowl.
You get to a bowl.
He'll
Get to a
get
bowl
the
for
bowl
sure.
game.
And they got a cupcake after that too. So he'll get to 7.
He gonna get 7.
He gonna get to 7.
Yeah, they've
No,
got
75.
Abilene,
We felt confident last year that 75 this year would get him canned.
It might. It might.
$96 million.
Because I don't see him being
7 and
LSU.
5.
I don't see him being LSU, but
No.
we will definitely see.
Well, depending on who's playing.
Vandy on the road against South Carolina.
Ooh, this is
South
the Poster
Carolina.
Bowl, but South
Yeah,
Carolina.
South
I'm
Carolina.
going South Carolina.
Vanderbilt is bottom of the league in it.
Carolina.
Thing, bro. They're awful. They're so bad.
Florida at LSU.
Oh,
They have some injuries.
is Nussmeier playing, or has Davis been cleared yet?
That's a good question.
He was in concussion protocol, and
He's in
usually,
protocol?
yeah, he was in the protocol. He cannot be cleared earlier than Thursday.
No, he's probably not going to play.
It cannot be cleared earlier than Thursday.
Yet he went back in, and they was going to put him back in the game.
Bro, what? Wow. I think Kelly has some questions to answer. If the SEC office didn't call down on that one, they're not doing their jobs. You sent him back in the game, and it was clear. I mean, he laid on the field for how long? He was clearly right, like at a point where you're at least evaluating him for a concussion. They sent him back in one play later to pull him off the field. Yikes. He went in that tent and didn't come back out. So I don't know. I think that he's going to. If they put him back in after one play, after 6 days, I think they're going to try it again. Yeah, I think he plays LSU.
I'm gonna go LSU at home. Is that a night game?
I don't know.
That's a great question,
Let's take a
Cizo.
look and see. LSU is playing at
7:30.
6:30 p.m. Central Time on the
Give me
SEC
LSU.
Network.
Give me LSU.
Yeah.
I'm going LSU as well. I mean, Florida, I just don't see it, man. And this is with LSU having this terrible defense, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. LSU's
you went
defense
4-3
really
last
is that
week.
bad.
Come on, B.
I don't
Channel
mind
that 4-3
I never
energy,
mind.
baby.
I never mind going 4-3.
Channel it.
Here's the thing, though. We saw Nussmeier
Okay,
just
Gus.
get in the game, right? He just got in the game. He didn't do much. There wasn't this syncopation with the wide receivers where he was throwing them open. Like, that wasn't happening. That's Daniels. And we go sit here and talk about how deserving Daniels is of the Heisman because he is that important to that offense. Nussmeier is not that guy. He's not that fast. He's not that speedy, decisive. He's going to be out there thinking and stuff. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but with a week to prepare as the actual starter, though, it could be different. I mean, they threw him in a game against Alabama on the road, right?
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
gonna
I'm
be
holding that
close.
much against him.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
be
just.
close,
Yeah,
but
I think he could. I think Nussmeier, even with Nussmeier, he could play well enough for them to win this game.
Right.
They'll scheme it up to figure out how to get points on the board.
Come on, B.
man, go.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna just put you down for Florida,
zag.
bro.
I'm a zag when y'all zig. I'm going. No, wait. Can we asterisk this until we know who the quarterback is going to be?
No.
No.
Everybody else
4,
picked before they knew.
3, 2, 1.
LSU.
Yeah, there you go.
If Jaden Daniels can play, I think he keeps playing just to get those numbers and get to New York at the end of the season. If he can play, I don't think they're going to hold him out if he gets cleared. So,
Yeah.
I've that's rare for someone to be playing a week after going into concussion protocol, especially at this level.
Mm.
I'm about to say the pros, they'll throw you back out there.
Yeah,
Unless
that's what I'm
your name
saying.
is
At this
Tua.
level. At this level.
They'll throw anybody back out there. They do not care.
Same game.
We were paying you good money. Get out there and play concussion.
Bama on the road to Kentucky. I'm going Bama here, guys.
Yeah, Bama.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Great, Bama.
This may be an interesting one here. Tennessee at Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Mizzou, that's who, baby. Yes.
Mizzou, that's who.
They hung in there against Georgia. I thought they played a good game against Georgia. Oh, they played a decent game against Georgia. I'm going
Give
Missouri.
me the team with the better quarterback.
Brady Cook.
MIZ.
MIZ.
I say Mizzou as well. I'm going Mizzou.
There we go, fellas.
Y'all zag.
Yes, believe it. Believe
Y'all
in
gonna
the Tigers.
zag. But C is gonna zag Mizzou.
Ah, man.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. All right, guys. Ole Miss at Georgia.
One loss Ole Miss versus.
It's a big game for Ole Miss,
UGA.
man.
This is the biggest game of their program since Lane has gotten
Because
there.
really and truly, no,
They still can't win the West unless
they
we
can't.
beat Bama. basically.
they still screwed in that regard.
But they can't even win the thing because Bama don't have any.
They'd have to lose two.
So Ole Miss would have never, ever, ever won the SEC West as long as divisions existed. Ayo, ring that bell, baby. No West Division titles. Never. But they
So
can,
Georgia-
make a statement of sorts.
Georgia for B. Ike.
Yeah, I'm going Georgia as well. If this were at Ole Miss, I'd give them a puncher's chance because they have a really good offense this year. But Georgia, man.
Georgia.
I think Kirby gonna have something for Lane. I really do.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but on the road,
I'm
That's a
gonna
tough
go Georgia.
say it with your chest.
Maybe this might be an interesting game. I think this could be an interesting game, though.
I do.
Yeah, I could see a scenario where Jackson Dart gets going and Lane pulls some magic and then blows it.
I disagree. I think it's going to look a lot like Bama look.
Think so? I think that's
20s.
just as plausible. Yeah. So
24-13, 27-10, something like that.
24. So, okay. Only 10 points for Ole Miss?
Yeah.
That's right. Be disrespectful.
Yeah, real disrespectful.
Disrespect.
Yeah, I don't see it. I'm not going to call a score. I'm just going to say I think Bama wins close.
Well, they're not in the game, so it's difficult for Bama to win this, but you know.
Right. Oh, sorry, Georgia. Georgia wins close.
Yeah, get some new friends for real, man. You thinking about Bama, talking about Bama?
Mike, we talking about the NBA. Bama got it. All right, y'all. Listen, you're watching the Midweek Report. Please be sure to share this content with those who enjoy Auburn and Auburn content. Smash that like button and please subscribe if you're new to the channel and you just found us. We'll be right back to discuss Auburn and Arkansas, but first, we got to pay some bills.
This edition of the War Report is brought to you by our generous sponsors. AuburnSports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn sports, head over to AuburnSports.com. When you work out, grill out, and chill out, you deserve the best life possible, and Golden's Cast Iron is here to provide the tools to help you do it. Check them out at goldenscastiron.com. And our giveaway sponsor, War Eagle Oil. For all of your motor oil and related products, head over to wareagleoil.com.
As always, thank you to the sponsors of the War Report who make our show possible every single week. Thank you to those of you who have continued to sponsor us in your own way with memberships. We appreciate y'all. Click that join button if you want to get in on all of the perks we have. 2 more home games coming up for Auburn football. We will have free tickets to give away to both of those games, and you don't want to miss your opportunity. You got to be a patron to get a part of that, but any membership level will get you to be able to watch film with me. We got film review coming up, previewing for Arkansas coming up tomorrow at some point in time. If you want to be a member and give away a membership, you don't give away your own, you get to keep your own, but you can give the membership to somebody else and they can have 1 free month on you. Hashtag get your weight up right now to be able to get in on the drawing sponsored by War Eagle Oil. We're going to give away another War Report mug. B-Will is rocking. He's got his mug tonight, so we can get you a little camera time. B-Will in a minute. You can show everybody the mug. You know what I mean? And if you want to be a part of the War Report Network as a listener out there in Podland, these are all the different places that you can listen. The College Loop, the Auburn Express, Uptempo Podcast, and Just a Sec Pod all have great content available for you. This episode is also brought to you by Lynch Toyota of Auburn. They have been a great sponsor for the War Report over the last few weeks here in the college football season. It's not only can you shop new Toyota vehicles like the popular Camry, Tacoma, and RAV4, but you'll also find great deals on a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. To top it off, all new Toyotas purchased from Lynch Toyota include a lifetime warranty, unlimited years, unlimited miles, nationwide coverage, all for free. Buy, sell, trade, or service your vehicle. Make sure that you're shopping with Lynch Toyota for the best customer experience. Get started now at lynchtoyotaofauburn.com. All Toyotas are created equal. Lynch Toyota makes the difference. Make sure that you holler at our folks over there if you're in the area or if you're online shopping.
And guys, listen, let's get into the head-to-head. Of course, you already know who Auburn's opponent is while B flashes the mug.
Yeah. Show them the other side of that, John, just so they, what I'm saying, they can see his 2 sides. Boom. You know what I mean? That was me being petty, but it is what it is.
That's part of the mug, man, as far as I'm concerned. Amazing. Great product placement. Thanks, B. Head-to-head. Arkansas on the road against Auburn on the road against Arkansas. That is a 3 p.m. Central Time kickoff, SEC Network. Arkansas has a slight edged favorite. Of course, ESPN's Football Power Index gives Arkansas a 54% chance of winning. The over and under is set at 48.5.
See, I said the series record tied. I should have changed that.
I overlooked that as well. But 19, 12, and 1 leaning in favor of
Arkansas. No, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me make sure.
I think that's
that is Auburn favorite.
I think that's Auburn, actually.
Make sure. Hold on. I just had this pulled up earlier today. It is Auburn's favorite.
Okay. So it's not tied.
Yeah.
Auburn is favored. Last time they met, pretty much Harson's last game here as a head coach. Arkansas won 41-29 on the Plains.
It's actually 41-27. Dang, boy. look, man, just get this graphic off the screen.
Okay, all right, my bad. All right.
Get this graphic off the screen, man.
Listen, man, how are we feeling about this game? I mean, obviously, people are giving Arkansas the bump because of what they did on the road in Gainesville this past weekend. Fired their offensive coordinator. Offense seems to have come alive a little bit last weekend. They're thinking that at home it'll be a different situation. General thoughts. I'll open up. Start with you, B. Seeing as though you look like you have a lot to say here. Your thoughts, sir?
I am split 50-50 on similar to when, if you're younger and you had a video game system, let's say you had Super Nintendo, playing Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3. I used to whip up on my younger brother, right? Dust him. No chance. Every now and then he get one, but he butt mash. Like, you don't really know what you're doing, but you trash. I'm finna whoop you over and over. He get mad, throw the controller, and then I had to put him in the headlock for throwing the controller and hitting the wall or the bed frame or whatever. Let me throw my controller. And so we go through that, right? And then I go over my cousin's house where he's like 2 years older than me and all his friends are his age, and I get whooped at the game. Murdered. Like, I'm talking about, I'm just holding the controller and I turn to my little brother like, Was I good at Mortal Kombat or was I just beating up on somebody who couldn't fight back? I have no idea if Auburn's good at offense or not. None. You cannot play somebody as bad as Vanderbilt. Like, oh, we're starting to look. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't tell you that we didn't look better. Of course we look better. But we actually played quality teams. Quality teams made us look silly. We played bad teams. Oh, all of a sudden we look good. I don't know. I think it's fool's gold to take the last 2 weeks and go, oh, really better. Man, I don't know if we're going to be playing like that. I can't say that. I don't know if Arkansas is better. Was a new offensive coordinator and a new game plan on offense enough to make them a formidable team? Shoot, maybe. It's not like they weren't in all these games that they lost. They had their margin of defeat is better than ours. We've been getting whooped against quality opponents, and they've been in the games and barely losing.
We got whooped by one opponent.
27-10.
Ain't no whoop.
48-18.
That's the whooping I'm talking about, LSU.
If it's going to be two scores or more, to me,
close to Georgia.
To me, that we did, but then anyway.
Yeah, the 27-10, remember, was one field goal too offensively.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's been a rough
I would call that a whooping.
Yeah. I have a hard time being able to know. I'm not saying this absolutely we're not better. I don't think we know. And they just changed significantly. There's no way to ascertain whether or not Arkansas is significantly better. What happened to their offense over the last week and a half? Is that enough to have, if they had this offense over the course of the season, are they like, I don't know, a 6-win team right now, 7-win team? Maybe. I don't know. I know that the defense has been helping them a lot for a lot of the season in games. They've been decent, not great. Decent.
I get all of that. Let me just get back to this we've been getting whooped thing. Like, if you're going to, I'm just saying, though, if you're going to say that, how come we don't get credit for not getting whooped in two of the other bigger games?
We do get credit.
But I'm saying, but like, why you ain't say that, though, in your whole diatribe? Not one time did you say, well, we kind of looked all right against these two. You ain't say that, but you went through all of this. We got whooped by these teams. You didn't give us no credit either. Can we get both of them?
All right, okay.
Can you give us some balance?
We got whooped by everybody we played on the road in that stretch. That was good. And the one team that was actually, again, Cal is not a good team either. And we barely beat a terrible team. Long road trip. I get all that. The road has been really bad.
I said, can you give us some credit? He was like, well, let me crap on you a little bit more.
No, I specified it to the road because that's where it was, right? You want us to have credit.
He's
playing well before I do. Let me add a little bit more to it.
Well, the saying was, you really sucked on the road.
Home, we know the home advantage that we have. We legit have one of the best home advantages in the nation. It might be top 2. And I don't know if it's 2. I would have said Florida, but then I just saw them play last week, and I can't say that no more for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still skeptical though. I'm skeptical. Number one, because our success has been against bad teams. Number two, because we're going on the road to prove something against. Number three, a team that actually looked. They didn't look fantastic last week, but they didn't give up on their season. They're under 500. They're still fighting it out, and they've been close all season. I think they have more momentum than us because they just got a win against a team that's probably neck and neck with them. Florida's probably equally as bad / mediocre as Arkansas, but they did it on the road. And they've been close to beating some better teams this season than we have on the road. So I think this is a coin flip. I don't have a lot of confidence or negativity either way because I do think we learned something about ourselves the last couple of weeks.
Mhm.
Hugh Freeze seems committed now to playing one quarterback.
I don't have any negativity either way. Negative.
Yeah.
I just told you what we didn't do. Am I wrong?
I didn't say you were wrong. I was saying
Okay.
you said I don't have any negativity. That is not a true statement based upon how long were you talking there in that?
What we have done to this point has been negative, but that doesn't mean I think this weekend is going to go bad. How I feel about this matchup.
Any positives? That's my whole point. If you're going to say what we have done and you only mention the negative things, then you can't say I have no negativity. That's not balanced.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you why. Because I say so. It wasn't that serious.
Man, boo. I need y'all to get blood.
I was wondering what happened there for a second. I was like, oh, the boxes are shifting.
Is the Coliseum what you see?
Oh man. All right. KJ Jefferson.
Yep.
Last week, 20 of 31 passing, 255 yards. He did throw a pick, but 2 touchdowns. Rushed for 92 yards,
92
had a
yards.
score, averaged 5 yards a carry on 17 carries. What do we do? What does Auburn do to game plan? Because obviously we're going to see, it's more than likely we're going to see that version of KJ Jefferson than the one who was being asked to stay in the pocket earlier in the season. I think that playbook is in the trash now. What does Auburn do? What's the game plan? What do we expect Auburn to do?
Plan to stop the run and make him beat you with his arm.
Yeah.
Force his arm versus your strength, which is your secondary. Allow those guys to make plays. They have kept you in games consistently all year, at least through the half, until you've proven whether you're going to do something offensively to help them or not. But Auburn's defense has played well enough to win games. I think, Caesar, that this is the key to the game here for Auburn. Shut down his arm. I think Rocket Sanders returns for this one.
He was
right.
He played last week.
Yeah, right.
He rushed for over 100 yards.
So he's back. But that even underscores even more to me why you need to slow Arkansas down on the ground. You cannot let them control the clock at home. I don't think that is a recipe for success. It's just going to be interesting. I talked to somebody close to the program today at Arkansas, and we've been friends for a long time, and they text me and just said, we need y'all to suck. Right. And so the feeling from their end is they may not be able to win this game without help from Auburn not playing well. And
yes, and I feel the same way about Auburn.
Yeah, and I just said in return, I think the feeling, a lot of fans would echo that sentiment as well. The one thing that B said that I thought was negative, but I thought it was very true. Was yeah. I know.
Do y'all listen when I talk, or do you just decide to interpret?
It wasn't all negative. I'm just saying.
Do they just listen to rap music, or they just switch through words?
I'm saying I agree. It was negative, but also
it was true. I didn't say it was true.
Yeah, right.
Except for the fact that he said we got whooped every time we played a quality opponent. That wasn't true. But continue.
Okay. But I agree is that I don't think, similarly to how I felt earlier in the season after Sanford, right, where it was like, what did we learn about Auburn? I felt like not much, but I do feel the same way after these games. Like, what did we learn after Vanderbilt? Ike and I were joking about this. The highlight of the Auburn football's Twitter posted of Thorne throwing to Rivaldo, like, it looked like practice tape.
Yeah.
There were scissor lifts in the background and construction everywhere. I mean, and it was a home game for Auburn.
Yeah. It looked like it was filmed at the Auburn facility.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. With stands on the side.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. It was
Terrible.
nuts. Auburn fans showed up. Kudos to them. But everybody knows that there's a strong alumni base for Auburn in the greater Nashville area. So, and then you're a 3-hour drive from Birmingham. So even those people, it was a day trip to go up and watch this game and then come home. They showed up, and it was not a very intimidating environment versus the worst offense in college in the SEC by a long shot. So what do we know? I'm not sure. It's never a bad thing to win a game, certainly. But were there things offensively that I could possibly say versus a better opponent? I'm not sure if that carries over. Yes. Right. When asked about the pick six, Peyton Thorne told Hugh Freeze, I just didn't see the guy. I don't think you can do that and win this game. So we'll see. Like I said, Arkansas has been in a lot of different kinds of games, like losing to Bama by 3, but then losing
to Mississippi State by 4.
By 4, but you only scored 3 points the whole game.
Yeah, it's very puzzling. But like you said, they fired their offensive coordinator, and it's desperation mode, I think, now for Sam Pittman in trying to save his job. I recorded with Auburn Memes earlier today, and we kind of talked about who needs this game more, Auburn or Arkansas. I can make an argument for both. I think Pittman's done.
It's clearly Arkansas.
Yeah, I think Pittman's done. So I don't know that they need it. I don't know he could do anything to save his job at this point. They've got to win out to make a bowl game.
About that,
I don't know.
It's a great question, right?
Yeah,
like,
I was about to say.
I don't know.
Here's the thing: if bowl eligibility. If the bowl eligibility is the low bar for Coach Hugh Freeze this year, he's almost guaranteed it because he's still got another cupcake left on his schedule. So from that respect, I think that he doesn't need it as much as Pittman. If saving his job means making a bowl, then he absolutely has to win this game, right?
Correct.
Coach Hugh Freeze is in no danger of losing his job, even if he loses the two SEC games he has left on the schedule. Now, if he loses to New Mexico State, he's not going to lose his job, but it makes it very interesting.
Yeah.
But I think to set yourself up for success for a job you're going to keep for the next couple of years, you need to get this dub. If you're
for sure.
Right.
Again, it was a good discussion. I argued the other side for the sake of exercise, but like I just told him, I said, look, I think for recruiting, Auburn needs this because, like you said, you're setting your program up for success. And it depends. Like, if you actually think this win will save Pittman's job, then I get it. I don't think it's going to save his job. Yeah. I don't. I mean, they have to win out to make a bowl game. And I think their last game is against Missouri. I don't think it's happening. So they're done. Stick a fork in them. Reset for next year. What do they need it for? They didn't need it for anything. When you're finding your offensive coordinator at this point in the season, cooked, guys, right? But now for Auburn, though, there are so many positives that can be taken from winning a game like this against a decent defense, right? I believe they're going to have to show some sort of competent offense to win this game. Now, that may not help, and if you can do that, it will help late in the season with recruiting. You build some momentum going into the Iron Bowl, and you instilling some belief that your team can go out and be the best team that day, right? And I think this game will be instrumental. I don't think Auburn can lose this game and then put up a fight in the Iron Bowl. I don't. I don't think you have enough to gain versus New Mexico State to build any momentum heading into the Iron Bowl.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so the opponents matter at some point. Again, this is a decent Arkansas defense. Statistically, they're terrible on offense, right? And your strength is defense. You hit last week. You went out and your defense gave up 8 points, right? They did a great job versus Mississippi State. I mean, this defense has consistently kept Auburn in games for at least 2.5 quarters. Right? Just praying that they would do something offensively. So I believe Auburn wins this game. However, I'm with B on. I'm not basing that on what happened last week. Right? Taking everything into account, the opponent, what they've done to the point. I do believe in this far into the season, without some sort of drastic change, you are what the totality of what you've done to this point. And expecting some big seismic shift at this point, 8 games into the season, I don't know that that's wise, right? Like, or 9 games in this, however far we are in, I don't know. But they did, again, fire their offensive coordinator. So there could not be much tape on what they're attempting to do. I know Travis Williams is going to have his defense ready, certainly. So to me, it's that's what it comes down to. KJ Jefferson's arm versus Auburn secondary. Shut down his arm, and you got a really good shot to win this game.
Shut down the arm?
Shut down his arm. Do not let him pass the ball. Sell out against the run, right? Okay. And then force him to throw the ball against your secondary. And if he beats you that way, okay, you live with it.
Right.
You live with it. What I can't live with is letting him run the ball all over the place.
Auburn ranks, they're 81st in the nation in rush defense, allowing 154 yards a game. I didn't see where that puts us in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn has their work cut out. Arkansas likes to run the ball. So that is a concern of mine in this game. I think our defense has been opportunistic. I think when we get in the red zone, we tighten up. I think we're in the top 20 in terms of red zone defense as well as third down defense. So we're a bend but don't break. I just don't like being bend and not break against rushing teams or teams that are good at running the ball. That part worries me a bit. So we'll just see how they look this upcoming weekend. I want to kind of transition this conversation, and Mike, you and B basically said that you didn't glean much from Auburn the past 2 weeks. So that tells me, what do we need to see? This is almost kind of a variant of Auburn wins if, but we're going to deal with the offense. What does Auburn need to do to position itself to win on the road against an Arkansas team that's probably playing desperation? Rush yards. We've seen Jarquez emerge the past few weeks. What does he need to do, and what does this rush offense needs to do on the road against Arkansas?
Yeah, against a competent defense, again, I think that you need to throw the ball upwards of 25-plus times a game at a 62 to 63% clip. We need Michigan State Peyton Thorne. Give me that guy, and Auburn's got a shot. If you're going to limit him to around 20 or fewer, like 16 to 20 throws, I don't think you can win this game doing that. I don't. Because he'll have to complete those passes at an 80% clip for Arkansas to respect it. If he went like 17 for 20 for like 210 yards or something, that would be a solid game. I just don't, the numbers don't bear that out. He's never been that guy. Not against Power 5 opponents. He hasn't. So, so if you extrapolate the cupcake data, I don't think that's a reasonable expectation. And again, they have they're decent on defense. So they're middle of the pack in the SEC on defense. But we all know, just like with Auburn, when you have a good defense, how much their numbers can suffer statistically when you can't move the ball.
Right.
Offensively. So they're suffering a little bit from the same thing that Auburn is. I think that it is give Hugh Freeze Peyton Thorne of last year versus this team. And I think that balances some things out. I'm not sure to make you guys know I'm a big, huge Jarquez Hunter fan, but I'm not sure what to make of his performance the last 2 weeks because of the competition. So I think you need 100 on the ground from Jarquez. You need 200 in the air from Peyton Thorne. You need at least one passing touchdown. And they need to be north of 21 points to win this game. I think that gives them enough clock control, and then Auburn wins this game by like 11, right? 8 to 11 points. So, that's where I'm at. You just got to score enough points to win this. That's it. Don't put your defense in a position where they're having to hold them under 10 to have a shot, right? Like, don't put them in that position in this game. I don't think it's reasonable on the road, even against the worst teams in the conference. If you're going to play football like that, the game's going to be in doubt at the end. And and then start fast, right? Get out to a quick lead and build some momentum. Not a team designed to come from behind at all. You cannot get down on the road in this game and get the crowd into it and let the struggling offense find some momentum. Don't do that. So, and then lastly, Caesar, turnovers, obviously. It sounds like an obvious one, but continue to do what you've done all year offensively. Don't let this be the game where you don't get a turnover. Produce 2 turnovers in this one. And
protect the ball.
Right, yeah, in their territory. And I think that Auburn had to give Payton Thorne and his offense a short field to work with. Don't make them drive the length of the field all game. If you win the field position battle, and you do the other things at an average clip, I think you can win this game because Arkansas is a below average team as a whole. They just are. I do not think they're more talented than Auburn is. And I just don't think they're more talented than Auburn is.
Okay. All right. Ike, well, before we get there, are you want to do the drawing, Ike?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys. We're giving away a mug courtesy of not GWT2 Energy, War Eagle Oil for this show. Drop the hashtag. Ike's ready to draw. Take it away, sir.
Yes, indeed. Somebody's got to win this mug. I saw Lisa's name come up there, so good to see that. Oh, it's a new name. Traveling 357. There we go. Okay. New winner up in here.
Question
they're
is,
still there.
Are you still here, Traveling? So please let us know in the comments if you are here. Let us know. All right. Let me grab some comments, guys, because these have been hanging out here. Maximum Effort says, I feel better about the game after listening to some of the players. They sound excited and focused about the rest of the season, having fun again.
Yeah. It's about Bruce and company. Just for context, we talk about basketball all the time. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was actually before.
That's football.
Yeah, that's football. I think
it's football.
The show even started.
I thought that was
in there. No.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about basketball.
Ben Bloodworth says, can someone explain the new not charging rule?
No. We're never gonna get called for charging unless you just run over somebody, basically.
Pretty much. Because now you have to have both feet down
before the person is like
takes off,
has left the floor.
Yeah, I understand. They don't want people sliding in under a guy that's already committed to jumping. But I mean, listen, man. Play off of 2 feet. That's what they were to just play off 2 feet. And you don't have people doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And like they are they are making these rules more and more in every single sport easier for offenses to score. That's why I get a little side. I give a little side eye when people start quoting offensive statistics for people in this era of sports in general.
Right.
Like where it's like, man, they're making the rules easier for scoring. So you're talking about, oh, look at all the yards this person threw for. Look at all the yards this person ran for. Look at all the points this person. They making it easy for the folks to do. Like, yes, it's the rules have been moving in this direction year by year by year to make scoring more easy because they feel like that's a more entertaining brand of whatever sport it is. Right. So like quoting statistics about that to me doesn't impress me.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Everybody's scoring a bunch of points right now and they making it easy. They don't call you could travel all day, you could palm, they don't call none of that stuff.
Right.
No defensive 3 seconds, they barely call that stuff anymore. Like they are making it so easy to score points right now. And I get it. If you're supposed to be highly skilled or whatever, be skilled on defense, nobody cares about defense in this era.
Traveling is here. So what we need you to do, congratulations, by the way, email us business@thewar-rapport. We need your full name, physical address. Send that to us in the email, and we will have that mug coming your way. Congratulations again. Thanks for watching and supporting the show. Grab some more here. Ben Bloodworth comes back. This is why we were talking about the Vandy game. Vanderbilt's coach looks like the default look in a video game character creator. That is hilarious.
That's
That
so
is
awesome because
hilarious.
I've been playing games where you create a character. It's like a blank slate human, just nothing on his face. He does look like that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
good.
crazy.
Auburn Dad for Life says this is for the intervention from Mike to get him I guess I guess his Bama circle of
Bama.
friends.
Get him
I
off
guess.
Bama. Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
saying this. Look, man, don't talk about them no more. Yep.
Debbie Norton asks, so does Holden actually play on Saturday?
No.
I don't think so either.
Absent of somebody getting hurt, no.
Ant Robinson says we played 2 bad opponents, and I can see why y'all say this about the Piggies, but put faith in the defense and that we see the thorn we've been seeing and not the thorn of week 4 through 7.
I mean, you're asking me to put faith in something I haven't seen, and he's not Jesus. So I don't know why you want me to do that. All I can say is I echo the sentiments of when I see it, I will be happy for. I'm rooting for that.
Right.
I'm hoping that's what we see is we see Samford, Mississippi State, Vandy, Thorne, right? That I hope we see that guy because that guy makes our offense very difficult to stop as long as we catch the passes when he's putting them on the money, right? Like that's a very difficult offense to stop because you have such excellent running back talent. But am I sitting here saying I have faith that I'm going to I haven't seen it on the road yet. Vandy was the first road game that it's happened, and it was a quasi road environment.
Yeah.
So I want desperately for that to be the guy that shows up this. I really do. Like the core of my book wants to see that. Faith in it though? You're asking a lot. You're asking a lot for me to be my faith. Yes, little faith, and that's not where I'm placing it.
James Barnett says that someone at Connie, I think the fact that he beat Arkansas with Liberty says a lot. It will be bad. Look for us if we don't beat them. Well, I think last year KJ Jefferson wasn't even playing in the game against Liberty, was he?
He either didn't play or he got hurt during the game, something like that. Yeah.
He got hurt in the games. Okay. So it wasn't a healthy KJ Jefferson. Again, just a different set of circumstances. This is year 1 under Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze had been just a different set of circumstances.
Yeah, I don't know that
I wouldn't look at it
bad for us to not beat them, but I would say that you've seen this version of this offense, whether it was with a healthy KJ or not. So you've at least game planned for it before. So you should be able to give a lot of help for figuring out what you want to do versus that, because you have the tape of seeing it versus Florida and whatever you did last year to game plan for it, because it was going to look similar to that. You've got more talent on this team than you had at Liberty. And you should be able to beat this team, because I think last year's version of this team offensively they were better last year offensively than they are this year. Defensively, I think they've taken a step backwards, and that's not saying, they've taken a step forward, but I don't think that they're necessarily good defensively still. They were bad last year, and this year they're okay. Like they're opportunistic this year more so than they were last year. So we'll see, man. We will see.
Lisa Daniel says only media reported that Holden was taking reps, or I guess second team reps was 247.
Yeah, let me address this real quick. So every Tuesday there's an open media viewing of like 20 minutes where we can go out to watch practice. And during that period, they run some like team drills, and that's where he was seen taking second team reps. So this is accurate that he was taking second team reps. That doesn't speak to what the game plan might actually be, though.
As long as they don't put him in for no trick play.
Right. Yeah. Right. But there are rules around what we can and can't share, and sometimes those rules are a little muddy. And so this might be why they're the only people to report it, because sometimes people are just like, I don't know if I should report that or not. Once you start getting around reporting certain things that you see at practice, people get nervous, right? And so you don't want to be the guy that reports the thing that gets the media shut out of practice. So it could be why, but it was, it's accurate is all I'm saying here. This is accurate. He was taking second team reps this week, and as far as we know, he was taking second team reps last week as well too.
AU Curmudgeon says, "Can anyone explain the chicken wing call? We all know it's a foul." I guess this is on.
It's a good play on words. I like it.
Yeah.
That was really good. That's really
Yeah.
Chad Baker Mazar.
Yeah. All right. Ike, talk to me, man.
What's up? What you want to know about?
Offensively.
we were pausing.
Offensively.
Talk to me, man. I'm good. You know, the family's good.
Offensively, what does Auburn need to do to position itself to win?
I mean, I think it's going to come down to. I talked about this a little bit on the morning drop. I think it's going to come down to how we supplement our run game with the pass game, meaning short passing stuff. The little pop pass that we did last week that went for a touchdown to Cobb, things like that are going to go down in the stats as a pass for Peyton Thorne. Quick, easy stuff. If they're going to give the space on the outside, just take the little quick 5-yard now routes, take that stuff on early downs to make Arkansas's DBs have to play this tight man coverage on the outside and not have eyes on what's happening in your RPO game. And then being able to run the ball out of those sorts of looks, right? Like, because what I expect Arkansas to do, and which is any competent defensive coordinator after watching Auburn play the last 9 weeks would do, is run blitz the absolute crap out of us.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to send a nickel off of the edge to be your force defender versus the RPO, so that you don't have the option of the quarterback keep and your defensive end / outside linebacker. I haven't looked at Arkansas defense to see if they're playing 4 down or 3 down, but it doesn't matter. Whoever the edge contained guy is within the box can just crash without having to worry about the quarterback. And you're going to send a safety or a nickel back to be able to be your quarterback person. And that forces Peyton Thorne to give every single time when they go into the RPO look. But you're going to have guys committed internal to do that. So it means your linebackers are they're read and run pretty much the entire way downhill. Now that's what got the big runs for Jarquez Hunter. Let's not mistake ourselves. Vanderbilt was crashing linebackers and safeties, and because we blocked it well up front, there was nobody at the next level. Once he broke 1 tackle, he was off to the races, right? That's the gamble that you take in those scenarios. However, I expect Arkansas to do just that. They're going to say, y'all better figure out how to throw a forward pass in this game. And somebody needs to catch that 7-yard in route, that slant consistently. Because we're going to sit on everything underneath and we're going to crash this run. Auburn needs to figure out how to do what they have not done a single game yet this year. Hear me. Not one game this entire season has Auburn adjusted to blitzes well to protect Peyton Thorne. They haven't done it a single time this entire year. We've struggled with it every single game. If they figure out how to do that in this game, they're going to burn Arkansas consistently, because Arkansas is going to take the chances to say, y'all haven't figured it out yet. Stunts up front, multiple blitzers. You're going to see it a bunch in this game. They figure out that and say, all right, we know how to adjust for your blitz. That means Arkansas can't do it anymore. You figure that out early in the game and they can't send a bunch of guys because they get burnt by it. You're going to blow them out in this game, because from a physicality standpoint, once you even that out up front, Auburn's shown that we can run block well when the numbers are in our favor. Make them play honest by beating the blitz, widening them out so that they can't stack it within the box. You win this game handily because you have a good enough defense to do it.
You talked about in the morning drop about screen game. Which puts an emphasis on how we block on the perimeter, which has not been all that great.
All that great is kind. Not all that great is being
nice.
kind.
I am being very nice. But do we see Auburn attempt any of that in this game?
You're going to have to. You're going to have to figure out how to get some stuff on the perimeter in this game. If you don't do it again, you're making it where it's easier for Arkansas to guard everything between the tackles in terms of your run game. But if you make it where they have to play honest on the perimeter, right? If they feel like, all right, we've got 2 wide receivers set to the outside there and we're in 11 personnel, and maybe we motion a tight end over there and we're going to run some sort of tunnel screen underneath it, but they can defend that 3-on-3, safety over the top, or a corner that's going to be playing right there in the slot with the corner head up over the receiver. If they feel like 2-on-2 to the outside with just a two receiver stack, or 3-on-3 to the outside with the 2 receiver stack and tight end, if they feel like they can defend it just with that, they'll do that. If y'all can't block it, we're fine. Throw it out there all you want to. We're going to crash on that, and we're going to blow that up every single time. You break a couple of those, now they feel like, all right, now I need to shade a linebacker over in that direction. That takes a guy out of the box, right? Because if you're hitting those consistently, then, or we're going to have to play safe behind that and then let you guys have to come. So they have to play off. They can't play on, man up on the outside. You hit a couple of those, it changes the numbers dynamic of what they're able to do. If they can just devote one guy to one guy on the outside and you can't win in those scenarios, then you're going to be running against 7-8 man boxes all day. That's you're not winning that way. You're just not.
And unfortunately for us, if you put on the film of our wide receivers, you're going to put it on and say, these dudes don't want to block you, man. They don't. You're going to say 13 can catch a pass. He might give you a good effort on this play, but on this next play, they're not going to hold up. They don't know how to get off blocks. Just keep pushing through. And unfortunately, that still looks accurate. Again, Vandy was a different story. Mississippi State was a bit of a different story. I want to say Mississippi State was probably the most impressive blocking game we've had as a team in total. But again, what can we glean from the last 2 weeks being the 2 worst opponents on our schedule as far as Power 5 opponents? Not much. So we're left here wondering, especially because who their defensive coordinator is. Like, if T. Will can't do anything, man, he can get these boys hyped up. He can instill some rah-rah into these boys. And I got to think, I hear this all the time. I don't know how much it means to T. Will to beat Auburn because he played here and coached here. Because this staff is not the one that didn't retain him. That's not the staff that said, no, we're good. We don't need your services here. But I gotta think, man, maybe just a little bit. Because I hear it too much from professionals at every level of every sport. If that was your team, you want to beat them. And I'm a little worried about, because I know what T. Will's energy is like. Him instilling that in his defense and us having some clear weaknesses that can be exploited. I'm a little worried about that matchup.
Yeah, so this is low-key, this is the biggest thing that Auburn misses from Shedrick Jackson not being on this team. Is a good exterior blocking person. Yeah. Shed Jackson was just really, like, you say what you want to about all the other stuff with Shed. He was physical and he blocked well on the exterior, which is why that exterior stuff worked really well. Malcolm Johnson Jr. is a guy I think that's very willing to go out there and do some of that stuff. I liked what I saw from Amari Kelly a little bit in the last game with him out there doing that stuff. But everybody in that tight end room not named Mike O'Reilly needs to step up in terms of their physicality to block. Now, Mike O'Reilly got a little overzealous with the chop block in this last game, but the energy he brings to want to hit somebody, I need to see that out of the rest of these dudes that are going to be out there on the exterior. I think Coy Moore is actually a decent blocker. He's not getting a lot of reps to go out there and do it. Yeah. But Cam Brown, Hooks, Amari Kelly, Malcolm Johnson. Those are the guys that have been getting the most of the reps at the outside receiver. Look, man. And when you get fair weather out there on the exit, y'all just give me something. Give me something. Luke Deal. Give me something.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Any other thoughts, gentlemen, about this game? Any other things that Auburn needs to do? You said stop the run. I talked a lot about offensively. Special teams. Special teams could come into play.
I think we see a special team score in this one.
Kick the ball into the end zone consistently.
Yeah.
I like to see that from our kickoff team, kicking the ball into the end zone every time, not out of bounds, not short of the end zone, because we can't cover for whatever reason. So, like, just don't give them a chance to run it back. Can we do that? Can we please?
This is the week Keontae Scott takes one to the house.
Yeah, that's what Corey's saying. I got a question for you.
So,
if you had to trade field goal accuracy for kickoff touchbacks, do you do it?
I don't want to.
Tra-
I don't like that trade at all.
Wait, trade what now?
What are we? I don't,
Like, if we go back to,
I hate everything about this trade already. What are you talking about?
For what we know Andrews was compromised last year as a kick, but how inconsistent the kick game was last year.
I don't like.
But we always got touchbacks.
Nah, fam, we're not doing this. No,
you're not proving that trade. What's the
NBA,
the trade?
Yeah.
Calculator thing. No, I'm not making that trade.
No, I'm not playing that game, fam. No. I want both of them. Accuracy. I don't care if it's got to come off of two different people. Put somebody else in the game that's just going to kick the stew out of the ball through the back of the daggone end zone. Look, man.
Yeah.
Come on, fam. You telling me nobody on this team can kick the ball into the end zone consistently? We ain't got one kicker. Not one. I'd rather them rugby punt that boy into the back. Just something, man. Golly.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, guys? Closing thoughts?
Yeah. Auburn needs to win.
Yes.
Oh,
I've been thinking that same thing. I was on the same wavelength with you.
I ain't even see it like that.
When you was thinking what you was thinking, I was thinking very similar things at the exact same time. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
that's deep.
Yep.
Like going crazy.
Put on straight from the survival scrolls. They need to win. That's it.
Yeah, man. Listen, I will say this. I will say this. Auburn, in my opinion, and Arkansas fans, you can be mad about it all you want to, is the better team in this game. Auburn is the more talented team in this game.
Okay.
Auburn has to prove something on the road this time. Like, you haven't shown it on the road. Defense has been traveling. Offense, please pack your bags and show up in freaking Fayetteville this weekend, man. Like, that's going to be the brass tacks of this game. If Auburn scores 27 points, I think Auburn wins this game. I don't think you have to score 27. I think 27 guarantees the win. I don't see Arkansas scoring more than 27 points against this defense. But if you're scoring in bunches, right, on just a bunch of busted plays or something like that, then maybe your defense gets tired at the end of the game. But just pack an offense for once on a trip that's not going to be 4 hours on the bus,
right, to
a mostly neutral crowd, right? Like, that Nashville trip might as well have been a neutral site game. The number of Auburn fans. For once, can we please take our offense with us on the plane? That's all I want. Defense gonna show up. Can you take the offense with you on the plane? Go out there, not get a bunch of silly penalties that shut your drives down. Not get a quarterback that looks like he's never seen the receivers that he's playing with before and throwing it 2 miles over their head and looking shook in the pocket, not wanting to get rid of the ball. Not having a bunch of receivers that are wide open but decide catching is optional today. Can we please just do that? If we could do that, we win the football game, man. Like, it's very simple. Like, and I'm not asking you guys to do anything that you're incapable of doing. Just do the stuff you know to do. Arkansas is not better than you, bro. They're just not. And you shouldn't lose to them. We can have all of this debate about talent in there. That's dead. We don't need to have no more talent conversations. Go out there and win a football game, man. So I can come on here and I can make fun of Arkansas.
Let me tell you something. Arkansas fans are crazy.
Absolutely.
They are nuts. If you are not on Twitter, check them out during basketball season too. Dude, they are.
Oh yeah, they're pretty bad.
Viable. Wow, they're special. I would not like Auburn to lose this game because I would not like to have to deal with their fans talking about how they scored their second SEC win against Auburn. No thanks.
Let's go out and beat the Fighting Pittmans.
That's right. I don't know, man. He's a fighting Pittman for real. He's fighting for his life, job, soul, everything. His eternal salvation.
Let's get Pittman fired. Let's return the favor.
Oh man! Remember when they won 9 games and everybody was like Arkansas on the rise, and I was like,
I actually don't remember Arkansas ever being on the rise. Maybe somebody
They
said
thought
it.
they thought they were.
Yo, man,
They thought.
dude, yeah.
Arkansas fans always think they gonna be good every year, every sport. No, you're not. It never works. It never works. They want to talk about all the time, man. I don't want to do this to y'all. I don't want to do this to y'all again. I don't. I get tired of reminding you that you're not good, but somehow, some way, y'all still come in the comment section with your WPSs and your whatever and try to convince yourselves, oh, we're gonna show them. All right.
I don't want to
All
lose to them.
I don't want to lose. I don't want to listen. What's it? They're 3-6 this year or something like that.
3-6.
Nah, we can't be win 4 for them, bro. Come on, man.
Oh,
Don't nobody care about no track and field, JB. Get that out of here, man. Well, I care about Auburn track and field. I don't care nothing about no Arkansas track and field. Get that mess out of here, man. So,
You do care about people becoming members.
I absolutely do care about that. You guys go ahead and click that wonderful join button. Come on board and be a member of the War Report family. Small monthly contribution allows you to get access to all of the great things that we have available for you. Watch the film is the big one, making sure that we get you guys informed about what's going on with the game and some stuff on the teams that are coming up. If you want to gift a membership, you can do that, just like I got Auburn did earlier in the show. Quick shout out. Also, I didn't do this early, and I apologize to Manscaped. Man, they have been sponsoring the War Report as well, and they are still doing it, taking your balls to outer space. I love doing the ad read for this. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Every man knows how scary it is when you're going for that close shave below the waist, and that's why you trust Manscaped for all their sensitive areas. Manscaped's 5th generation trimmer features 2 next-gen interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, a standard trimmer blade for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go to the smooth finish wherever your heart desires. Get 20% off and free shipping when you use code REPORT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code REPORT at manscaped.com. Your balls have been through enough. It's time to go ultra with Manscaped. If you didn't get an opportunity to win something today, you can go to our merch store. That's warreport.com. Make sure you check that out. Purchase yourself a little something. Check in with all the guys at the network if you want to listen to some stuff audio-wise. And we appreciate everybody for continuing to do all the things that you do to support us.
And as always, y'all, please be sure to share this content before you get out of here. Smash that like button and subscribe to those of you who just found us and are new to the channel. You found us on social media, guys. Twitter, Instagram at The War Report, TW Report on TikTok. Tipping out, guys. We will definitely catch you Friday. Facts or Not Friday. We ask some of your final questions before the big game. Till then, enjoy the rest of your evening. And as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.